Archive Shuttle provides a number of log files that can be used to investigate issues should they occur during your migration. Let's take a look at them. Archive Shuttle generates log files in two places. Log files are generated by the modules. On each machine that has modules installed, log files will be generated. They're managed by the admin module, which is always installed. It's in charge of making sure that they roll over when they reach a certain size, and that old log files are archived and eventually deleted. Wherever the Archive Shuttle core is installed will also have log files. These are log files relating to the scheduled tasks or recurring tasks, as well as processing that the core does as a result of operations you perform in the user interface. The core manages these log files and makes sure that they roll over at a certain size, and that old log files are archived and eventually removed. You might think it's a problem in having to go to every server where modules are installed in order to look for and review the log files. That's not the case though. The modules, as well as logging locally to the server they've installed on, send log data via a web service to the core. This means that there is usually one single place to go and look at log files. That's the core. Before we take a look at the log files on the module servers and on the core, let's talk briefly about Archive Shuttle Cloud. With Archive Shuttle Cloud, the core is hosted in our data center, and customers and partners don't have access to that. Our customer experience team has access to the log files for the core. What this essentially means is that they will assist you in troubleshooting issues because they have the consolidated view of log files. You, as a customer or partner, can still see the log files on the servers running the modules if needed. Now let's take a look at the log files. Here we can see the log files which relate to the modules that I have installed on my server. It's pretty much all of the log files from all of the available modules, as this is a demo system of mine. The binaries for the modules are in this folder. The log files themselves are in this folder. Each log file grows to 100 megabytes. Once it reaches that size, it is moved to the log archives folder, and a new log file is created. The admin module takes care of this automatically. The log files here are what we call the client log files. They're the bit that the module itself processes and works on. You can see the log files have the name of the module in the file name, which helps you to identify which one you need. Should you need to send one or more of these to the customer experience team, you can generate a support bundle from inside the user interface, or you can copy and then zip the log file that you see here. They zip up really well. The second thing we'll look at is the log files on the core. The core itself is in this folder. The log files are in this folder. As I mentioned earlier, the folder contains the log files for the core, as well as a consolidation of the log files from all of the modules. In addition to this, you'll also see the core side of the processing or logging associated with each module. So you see the module log file has the name .client at the end of it, and the core side has .core at the end as well. The core side can sometimes be useful to the customer experience team or developers in order to diagnose issues. If we briefly open one of the .client log files, you'll see that the same information is stored in it when compared with the log file from the module server itself. The core log file for a module, though, is different, as we see here. When we take a look at the core log files itself, it's these files that we're interested in. These files track the activities of Archive Shuttle itself, and if you look through it, you'll often see repetitive events happening. These are the things that make sure the migrations are running well, such as checking for new work eligibility, checking for free disk space on the servers running the modules, and so on. So these files are the web services log file and the core log file as we see in the video. In the next module, we'll take a look in a bit more detail at some of these log files.